Over the last 12 months, AI titans like Jensen Huang and Elon Musk have accumulated wealth at a velocity that defies typical market logic. The global hierarchy of who holds the capital is being rapidly rewritten. OpenAI's $500 billion valuation, driven by Sam Altman, makes it the most valuable private company in history. 10% of the entire Crunchbase unicorn board's value is now concentrated in just two companies, OpenAI and Anthropic. This economy is restricted to a select few firms with the capital to participate. This global GDP pie chart highlights a $7 trillion wedge, Goldman Sachs' projection of AI's economic injection over the next decade. But capturing this wealth requires massive workflow shifts. As new value is created, roughly 300 million jobs are exposed to automation. This bar chart reveals the high cost of entry. The largest cloud providers, or hyperscalers, have violently spiked their capital expenditure, jumping from $237 billion to over $330 billion in just a year. The industries absorbing all that infrastructure are the ones with established digital pipelines. Information, finance, and professional services are seeing AI adoption rates hitting up to 30%. Contrast that with physical world sectors like construction and hospitality. Their operations rely heavily on in-person labor, leaving AI adoption stagnant at a mere 3%. Artificial intelligence operates like a heavy industry. Survival is dictated strictly by the ability to fund and deploy massive physical computing infrastructure. When you look at who is securing the capital to build that infrastructure, the United States captures 79% of all global AI startup funding, totaling $159 billion. That concentration of capital is so dense that business investments related to generative AI are on track to make up 6% of the entire US GDP by the end of 2025. China relies on a completely different strategy. They trail significantly in private AI investment, sitting at just $9.3 billion. But they maintain the massive manufacturing scale and the physical hardware footprint required to actually build these systems. This chart ranks global AI talent distribution. Looking at the top two bars, you can clearly see a massive volume gap separating the US and India from the rest of the world. India is operating as the primary engine for human capital, projected to generate 680,000 AI-related roles. Succeeding in this landscape requires either multi-billion-dollar capital pools or a vast supply of technical talent. For nations that lack the raw scale of the US or China, there is an alternative path to relevance. It requires aggressive, hyper-agile policy execution. Singapore has successfully executed this strategy. Through state-backed training credits and sustained investment, they have achieved the highest concentration of AI talent per capita anywhere in the world. Similarly, the United Arab Emirates has committed $46.1 billion specifically to build out a dominant data center infrastructure across the Gulf. They are pairing that hardware with a state-backed mandate to rapidly train 1 million citizens in AI fundamentals over the next few years. Smaller economies can only avoid being crushed by the monopolies if they actively deploy well-funded, highly strategic national policies. But the data also reveals the structural losers. Economies that have historically relied on outsourced labor, call centers, and routine data entry are now facing deep systemic risks. Look at the Philippines. Their legacy business process outsourcing hubs, a major pillar of their economy, are in an existential crisis as AI models become capable of handling complex customer interactions. Their defensive tactic is specific. Major outsourcing companies are actively shifting 40% of their workforce training away from human interaction and directly into managing AI-controlled customer service just to stave off mass displacement. Widening the scope to regions like sub-Saharan Africa and Eastern Europe, a severe baseline talent gap is preventing them from entering the AI economy entirely, and these regions suffer a secondary blow. 35% of the AI talent they do manage to train immediately migrates out of the Global South, pulled directly into high-income tech hubs in the US, Europe, and the UAE. Without capital for infrastructure or the means to retain their brightest minds, emerging markets face exclusion from the world's most profitable tech hubs.